Gran Turismo Sport is delayed from November 2016, just like a ton of other PS4 exclusives. Something is going wrong there at Sony, something has to be done. I discussed this issue with Zach Sharps in the latest Everything Gaming podcast. If you like it, hit that like button and check out the full podcast in the description below. Thanks guys and enjoy. Yeah, it's not really a surprise, but Gran Turismo Sports for the PS4 that was supposed to hit in November got delayed. That means that Sony once again does not have a PlayStation exclusive November title, of course. Yeah, it started with The Order that got pushed back to February. Then we had Uncharted that got pushed back to May. And then we had Horizon was also supposed to hit this year, but then got pushed back to February as well. So then Sony was like, no, but we still have an exclusive, Gran Turismo Sports. But of course, it's a Gran Turismo game, that shit always gets delayed. And yeah, it's not like, because yeah, with Horizon, it's like, okay, it's not coming out in 2016, but February 2017. Now it's like, wait for it, somewhere 2017, you will get it eventually, but we don't know why. And what's pretty funny is that they also had like a beta planned, like earlier this year, but they did not do it to make sure that this game would hit 2016, but yeah. Here we are, no Gran Turismo Sports. And I just want to talk to you about, is this like, because it's now the third year in a row, when Sony like promises new games for the next year, or for example, I don't think this is the case, but for example, Detroit, they say, okay, 2017, it might be a fall game, or God of War. I don't think that they can keep those promises anymore. They should just say, it will come out eventually, don't hold your breath, because this is like the second time or the fourth time even. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy. What do you think?
As much as I'm happy with them delaying games if they're not ready, at the same time, their marketing slogan, "Greatness Awaits," could not be even more true. I mean, I really have not seen a more true marketing statement, or slogan rather, as greatness awaits is for Sony, because everything gets delayed. There's a huge lack of exclusives compared to their competition. Like I said, like we always say, remasters don't count. They're not original titles. And what's really weird about this entire thing, as much as I would love to play a Gran Turismo Sports, it doesn't seem like Sony even needs exclusives at this point to sell consoles. They're still going to outsell the Xbox One. Especially now that I've seen a good bit of people trying to sell their Xboxes on Craigslist, because I'm trying to sell my PlayStation 4. I've made that known on Twitter. It seems like no one wants to buy it because either they know the Neo's coming out or they already have one. I'm not sure. But it's really weird because with how the Xbox One is, there was a guy who tried to trade me on Craigslist. He's like, hey, you want to trade an Xbox One Elite for your PS4? I'm like, no, I have a PC. Why the hell would I do that for? He's like, yeah, that's kind of why I'm trying to get rid of it. So I feel like the lack of exclusives on Microsoft's end is hurting them a bit. But at the same time, the PS4 doesn't really have a lot of exclusives either, and a lot of them are out in the future. And it seems like they just keep getting delayed and delayed and delayed. It was good to see, Uncharted 4 get finally released, and Ratchet and Clank, and some other games as well, Bloodborne, Order 1886. But it really comes down to the fact that this is bad news for people who bought the console for an exclusive, aka Gran Turismo Sports, but for everyone else who just bought the console because they wanted a solid piece of tech, I don't think they really cared. But it's good news regardless, because at least the game won't be half-baked at launch.
And they talked about not having a weather system and stuff like that at launch. So it was going to be like not the package you come to expect from a Gran Turismo game anyhow, but maybe they will do it now. What's interesting to note is that with the Xbox and the exclusives, I mean, they also got Forza, of course, the Xbox, and they released that game every single year. And the last Gran Turismo came out in 2013. Well, of course, Sony had Drive Club, but that was also a big debacle. They even got rid of the studio. Of course, that's not with Codemasters. But still, they can't even release a Gran Turismo game in 3 years when Microsoft is able to release a Forza game every year. I really think that they should go to that studio and say, come on guys, what the heck is going on? Why can they do that? And why you can't? Why? So that's of course a thing that's going on with Naughty Dog. They release stuff pretty quickly. They released The Last of Us in 2013, and they have Uncharted now in 2016. So okay, you can get away with that. But the Gran Turismo franchise is really a different beast, and okay, it sells a ton. If we look at Gran Turismo 5, of course PlayStation 3 exclusive, sold around the 12 million units. Super nice. Gran Turismo 6 launched at a very weird time, the time that the PlayStation 4 came out. That game came exclusively to PS3. Really weird, but still sold 5 million copies. So this game is going to sell a ton, but Microsoft can release this type of game every year, and in the end they will sell way more than Gran Turismo. So I really think that that franchise in general also needs to step their game up, because even if they can say February 2017, it might be July or August 2017 for all we know, that we will see this game. So that's like, and then there will be a new Forza game when Forza Horizon 3 will launch this year. And then, the next year they will probably have another Forza game, because why not? It's selling very well. So then they will... It's a super weird situation, but overall, in general, Sony, just doesn't seem to care. And why should they go to Polyphony, the developers of Gran Turismo, and say, step your game up, when they will have like a ton of PlayStation 4 sold, and even with the Neo coming, with the Slim coming, they will be fine in the end. So that's also like a little bit... for us, for the gamers, that's like Sony doesn't need to care.
It's a really interesting scenario here with Gran Turismo, and I'm not really a huge Gran Turismo fan. I wouldn't mind playing the new one. I'm more of a Forza guy, and I'm really glad Forza is going to be on PC. Oh my god, that's going to be fantastic playing that in 1440p at 100 frames per second. I don't see why I want to be able to do that, because the game's graphics are not really that super complex, but Gran Turismo has always had a place in my heart, and so I want to see the franchise succeed. It's just weird that it's taking them so long.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's odd.
To get back to the point of this discussion as well, that Sony just promises exclusives and they keep getting delayed. Just stop. And that's also what we kind of already saw with the E3 press conference. They said, the Spider-Man game will come eventually. They did not do like a date at the end of the trailer or 2017, and they did that with Uncharted, for example. That had, the first time we saw it, 2015. Well, we all know how that shaked out. So I think Sony is learning, and they should do it. They don't need it. They need to give their developers the time they need, so that when the games come out, they are good. And we saw that with Ratchet & Clank. We saw that because that also got delayed. We saw that with Uncharted. In the end, they are fantastic games, and that's what we want. But right now, if you are a PlayStation fan that wants to play a racing game, good luck with that.
You're gonna have to wait.
Let me know what you think of the current PlayStation 4 exclusive situation in the comments down below. Like this video if you did, subscribe for more discussions and reactions on the latest gaming news. Thanks a lot for watching. I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.